Hey guys, do I care that my stereo is getting wet? No, I don't, because it's weather resistant. And that's what we're gonna show you how to build today on Reverender Garage. A weather resistant stereo with Pyle speakers inside of a Harbor Freight Apache case using a 100-watt amplifier, and it's all happening right now. Hey guys, it's Sean from Reverender Garage. Welcome back. If you're new, thanks for stopping by. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you click that bell, then you won't miss any of our awesome content. Today's video is going to be pretty cool because we're gonna one-up one of the videos that we just did. If you have not seen our video on creating a stereo system from a US General Harbor Freight mini toolbox, then check it out right here. It's been a very popular video, and people are selling these after converting them for $200 to $250 online. So we have ourselves an Apache 4800 case that we got from Harbor Freight, and we are going to add the ability to power this stereo system from Bauer Harbor Freight batteries. So you can be out for hours and hours and hours listening to some awesome music through our Pyle Hydra two-way marine quality waterproof 6.5-inch speakers. And we're gonna power it with this little tiny amp. This amp supports multi-voltages for power. It's gonna allow us to use those Bauer batteries to get power to our amplifier and get us some sound out of the speakers. But we're gonna walk you through this entire process and show you exactly how we do it, and you're even gonna see us print some 3D mounts so we can mount our Bauer batteries for power. So before we waste any more time, let's get to building.
No, we're not sponsored by Amazon or Harbor Freight, but some of our links are affiliate links. Using them costs you nothing extra, but it helps us fund more tools, builds, and videos for you. Thanks for the support.
All right, diving right in here, you can see the inside of this case. We have got removable foam squares, so you can pull out exactly what you need to make space for exactly what you want to go in there. I am probably gonna pull the whole entire foam piece out when we get down to actually installing the amp and getting the batteries in place. But we're gonna pull this foam piece out off the top, which is just one solid piece, and this is where our speakers are gonna come through. So the plan is we are going to take one of our speakers right here, and we are gonna decide exactly where they're going to go. What's nice is this speaker comes with a stickable, I guess you could call this weather stripping as well. This is gonna make a great template to use to trace out so we can cut around it and get that speaker mounted in there. So let's get started on figuring that out. Okay, the first thing we're gonna wanna do is determine where these speakers are gonna go, and I wanna put them on the top half of this so that when you set this up with the handle, you're gonna get the speakers to clear anything that might be down here. So let's get our circle out here. Okay, we have got our holes marked right here. You can see they look to be about identical spots, so we should be good to go. The next thing we're gonna need to do is cut these out. We'll drill a pilot hole on each, drill them out. They don't need to be perfect because you're never gonna see it. So I'm gonna get that all ready and we will get that done. Okay, instead of using a jigsaw, I found my RotoZip. These things are amazing. Let's get to doing this right now. It's gonna be a tight fit up here, but we'll make it work. Again, this doesn't need to be perfect because the speaker has a good ½ an inch, actually more like an inch to cover it all. All right, we got our holes drilled. You can see that the speakers fit great. The next thing we need to do is we need to get these speakers in place, get them lined up because we're gonna want the logos and everything to be perfectly centered and the same on both sides. And once we do that, we'll mark our holes with our paint pen and then we'll drill them out. And I think instead of using screws, I'm gonna use actual nuts and bolts on this. So let's get lining these up and get the holes drilled so we can mount these speakers up. And we are golden. All right, so what I'm gonna do is find the nuts and bolts that we're going to use, and we are going to get these speakers mounted up with our weather stripping. and then we can move on to the next steps. So I wasn't able to find exactly what I was looking for, but instead I found these hex top bolts that I got a kit from Harbor Freight.
Always Harbor Freight, baby.
About $6. And what I'm doing is I found a size that is just slightly bigger than the hole we drilled. Now you can see I've got these mounted right into the top of the speaker. They thread in there really nicely. And what that's going to give us the ability to do is flip this over and put our weather stripping on it before we actually put it into the case. Now they're going to thread through the case as well, but eventually we can get some nuts and put them on the back because it's got a really long shaft. So let's start getting our weather stripping in place, and then we will get these speakers mounted. Okay, we have got both these ready to go. We have got our weather stripping on the back. We've got all of our bolts through enough to where we can start to mount it into the case. The other thing I wanted to tell you is these bolts are not going to actually go all the way down into the recessed holes because the bolt head is a little bit bigger, but you know what? That's just gonna give it a more industrial look and make our new Boombox for the 21st century even more badass. So let's start getting these mounted up in the case.
A few moments later.
All right, you can see we've got our speakers mounted. These mounted up just great, and we just had to make sure the weather stripping was in the right spot as we clamped them down to make sure there was no gaps or holes in it. The next thing we need to do is we need to attach our little amp. And what we're gonna do is drill 3 holes for our post here, and we're gonna do it right around the center here. We also have a power button that will be going in here as well. And so what I did, since we want this to be water resistant, is I made a little roof for them. And let me walk around and show this to you. So this is going to mount on there. Our 3 posts will come in here with our knobs, our power button will be under there, and then you've got this nice little roof. And then we've got 5 mounting holes here. Now, what we need to do is start making measurements so we can figure out where those 3 holes are going to be, and then we can start getting this assembled. All right, we got our holes drilled, and what I did is I just used masking tape, and with the masking tape I was able to lay it across those 3 posts and make a little dab on the top of each one, and then I could lay the masking tape down wherever I wanted and know exactly where to drill my holes. So you can see our holes right down here. We've got our 3 post holes and we've got our power outlet hole. I'm gonna do a little trimming on the power outlet once my Dremel charges because I was an idiot and didn't plug it in the last time.
That's just a straight shooter with upper management written all over him.
We'll get that charged, get that drilled out, and then the next thing we're gonna do is get those things mounted in place, and we'll be that much closer. So let's get to moving on. All right, we have got everything mounted. You've got the power switch there, and you've got your bass, treble, and your volume all in place. One thing I'm gonna do at some point is I'm gonna secure this on the back a little bit more because this will wiggle a little bit, but that'll be easy enough, and I'll show you how I'm gonna do it as we move on. But the next thing we need to do is we need to start getting everything in place as far as holes drilled to make our little roof fit this. Let's get to it. All right, we got the roof mounted over the knobs and the power button. What I did is I set the roof on there. I already had the holes drilled in the roof as you had seen, and basically I set the center one right where I wanted it to be, and I threaded a bolt into there. And that way, this could only shift like this. And here's what I used. Harbor Freight, baby.
Always Harbor Freight, baby.
We've got our black hex head bolts, which worked amazing. Now let me show you this up front and close. There you can see the roof is on over our knobs and our power button. When you look to the side, it completely covers them. That's the idea. So when your stereo's sitting up and it's raining outside, it's not gonna drip right down onto those posts. Now what I did to mount that, as a sealant, I used shoe goo. So what I did is I just put it on the back of our roof housing, and that's when I applied it down on and screwed all the screws in. The next thing we need to do is get our battery mount in place. And this is the battery mount that I printed out. You can find this online if you search for Harbor Freight Bauer battery mount. We're gonna get that mounted into the case, then we can slide the battery in, and at that point we can start wiring. So let's get this mounted inside the case. All right, boys and girls, we have got the battery mount mounted, and it's right here. There's 3 screws and they're countersunk. So what I did is I used my handy dandy stainless steel screw assortment kit from where? Harbor Freight, baby.
Always Harbor Freight, baby.
And I ground down the screws because they'll go through the front of this case. And now let's show you what happens when we put the battery on. Click, in place, solid as a rock. I chose to put it in the center, right down here at the bottom, because we've got a lot of weight here, a lot of weight here. This will just balance it out. And one thing, if I haven't mentioned it before, I actually mounted everything in the top of this case. And the reason for that is, when it's closed, guess what? This thing can float in the water and nothing is gonna touch any of that stuff. So, next thing we need to do is start getting this thing wired up. We gotta wire the speakers to the amp. I've also got to figure out how I'm going to get power to this because it does not come with an adapter. But I have adapters that go with LED lights, and they're very common adapters. I've used them for other things. So I think if I just cut one of those plugs off, I can use that to wire this up, since this amp works on multiple voltages. So we should have no problems. So let's get that going next. All right, guys, take a look in the corner and you can kind of see the wiring up close, and it is all done. So what I'd like to do now is pull up some royalty-free music and play it for you to show you how this sounds. And the only thing else that we need to do to it is clear out the foam for the back of the speakers and clear out the foam for the actual battery and battery mount. But it's all closed up. You've got bass and treble controls right here, and you've got a power switch. So we have completed our weather-resistant stereo for the outside, the inside, whatever you want to use it for, it will work. You don't have to be afraid of getting it wet. If it falls in the water, guess what? It'll float and nothing will get wet, because these are all on the top of the case. So as long as you're floating it from the bottom, you should be good to go. Well, guys, that's another episode of Rev Render Garage. If you like what we built here today, then hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, tell all your friends, and leave us a comment and let us know what you would have done differently on this or what you would have added to it. I'm excited to hear what else we could do with it, because we might make a future video where we add on to this. But right now, we're gonna end this video and say, hey, check out this video right here if you haven't seen it, and check out this one, and until next time, Rev Render out.
As always, thanks for watching. Tune in every Saturday for a new video. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Those likes really help us out with the YouTube algorithm. Until next time, Rev Render out.